Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show where we basically jump into a whole stack of sources and pull out the interesting stuff for you. Today, we're getting into the story of Labubu Dolls. You've probably seen that mischievous little face, right? With the big grin. It's kind of become this real icon in the designer toy world. So our mission, basically, is to unpack the whole story. We're talking origins, how it got so huge, the crazy collector stuff around it, and what's new, what's happening right now in 2025. So, look, whether you're already deep into blind boxes or maybe you're just curious about this toothy character popping up everywhere, stick around. You'll want to hear this. Okay, so let's start at the beginning, right? To really get this whole thing. Where did Labubu actually come from? Who dreamt up this little creature?
Right. So Labubu is the creation of Kasing Lung. He's a brilliant artist based in Hong Kong. He's really known for this unique style that kind of blends fairy tale magic with like a darker fantasy edge. Interestingly, he actually started out as a comic book artist. You can sort of see that influence, I think.
Yeah, you can. And it's fascinating, isn't it, how these characters often start within a bigger world. Labubu wasn't just like a one-off idea. It was part of Kasing Lung's storybook world called The Monsters. And visually, I mean, Labubu just grabs you, right? That kind of impish goblin look, the permanent grin, sharp teeth, those wild eyes. But somehow it's still, well, lovable. It first appeared back in 2015, and people noticed pretty quickly.
Yeah, they did. And what's really interesting about the origin, I think, is Kasing Lung's specific inspiration. He drew heavily from Grimm's fairy tales, and broader European folklore. That gives the character this added depth. It's not just a cute monster. It feels grounded in these older sort of mythic stories, even though it's presented in this very modern, collectible way.
Right, like it has some history behind it.
Yeah.
But then came the moment it really, exploded, the partnership that changed everything. Because, yeah, Labubu didn't just have a quiet launch. This is where the story gets really interesting.
Exactly. The game completely changed when Kasing Lung teamed up with POP MART, the huge Chinese collectibles company, famous for those super addictive blind boxes.
Oh, yeah. POP Mart, that makes sense.
That partnership just launched Labubu into a whole different stratosphere. Suddenly it was, well, everywhere. We saw tons of limited edition drops, glow-in-the-dark versions, special holiday releases. I remember the buzz around the Labubu X SpongeBob collab. That was a huge deal.
Huge. And the demand, I mean, it just went through the roof. People were actually lining up, weren't they, for hours just to maybe get one. And those online raffles, forget about it, sold out in seconds.
Seconds, yeah. Total frenzy. And that kind of scarcity, that immediate gone, it naturally fueled this pretty wild resale market.
Wild is definitely the word. I heard some of the rarer figures were going for what, over $500?
Easily. Some went past $500 on places like eBay or StockX. When you see that kind of money changing hands in the secondary market, that's when you know it's more than just a toy. Labubu had become, a full-blown cultural phenomenon.
Wow. Okay, so that begs the big question then. Why? What is it about Labubu specifically that connects so strongly with people, with collectors, art fans? What's the magic formula here?
Well, I think there are a few key things going on.
Yeah.
First off, the artistry is just top-notch.
Yeah.
Every single design, it feels like it has its own little story. Drawing on Kasing Lung's dark fantasy background, there's often this hint of something deeper under the cute surface. Each one feels like a character pulled from some bigger story you haven't seen yet. Makes you curious.
And there's that emotional thing too, right? It's cute, yeah, but also a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
And nostalgic somehow, all at once. That's a tricky mix to pull off.
It really is. That balance, that simultaneous charm and maybe slight unease is absolutely crucial. It's not just straightforwardly cute. It kind of challenges what cute means, which makes the connection, I think, a bit deeper, maybe even a little unsettling. Sticks with you. Perhaps it taps into childhood wonder, but mixed with a sort of awareness of lights being a bit weird or unpredictable. So it hits on different levels, maybe even subconscious ones.
Okay.
And then, of course, you just can't ignore the power of collectible culture itself. Those limited runs, they aren't just marketing hype. They genuinely create that buzz, that desire. It plugs right into that human instinct for hunting treasure.
Right, the thrill of finding the rare one, the chase figure.
Exactly. The chase itself becomes a huge part of the fun for a lot of people.
And just looking at them aesthetically, they just look great, don't they? Whether you've got one on a shelf or a whole bunch in a fancy display case, or people even build little scenes for them, dioramas. They just have this fantastic display appeal, that visual pop.
It really hits that sweet spot, doesn't it? Between being a toy and being, well, a piece of art. And it goes beyond just buying an object. I've heard people say they don't just buy Labubu, they kind of emotionally adopt.
Adopt them, wow.
Yeah, collectors seem to form this deeper, almost personal bond. It's not just a transaction, it's like adding a little character, a companion to their lives or their collection stories.
That's fascinating. And the story's definitely not over, is it? Because Labubu is still very much alive and kicking here in 2025. It's not standing still. So what's new? What's buzzing right now?
Now it's still moving incredibly fast. We've seen some really cool drops recently, like the Zodiac Labubu series that had 12 different animal-themed ones,
Yeah.
and the super rare dragon in that set. Collectors went absolutely crazy for it.
I bet. And what about that Jungle Adventure series? I saw those. They had like vines and tribal paint and some glow-in-the-dark bits too, right? That detail is pretty amazing.
Really elevates them, yeah. And the rumor mill is buzzing, as it always does in this scene. Word is there's a Labubu X Hello Kitty collaboration potentially in the pipeline.
Whoa, Hello Kitty. That would be massive. Absolutely huge for both fandoms.
Massive. And looking even further ahead, beyond just the physical toys, there's talk about innovation too, like a potential Labubu AR mobile app. Imagine being able to interact with a virtual Labubu right there in your room through your phone.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. The possibilities there.
Yeah. But, with all this excitement, all this continued growth and high demand, it brings up something important for you, the listener. Be careful. With desirability this high, the market for fakes, for counterfeits, is unfortunately pretty significant.
Ah, yeah. Good point.
Always, always check for the official POP MART branding. And look for those little QR authenticity tags. Make sure you're getting the real deal. It's worth that extra second to check. Protect your collection.
Definitely sound advice. So wrapping this up, whether you're into Labubu for, I don't know, the pure charm or maybe the thrill of hunting down that rare one or just appreciating the incredible artistry and the story behind each figure, it's pretty clear this mischievous little monster has carved out a really big, really lasting space in modern toy history. Which leaves us with a thought, maybe. When you see a character like Labubu connect so strongly with people emotionally and become this global thing, what does that really tell us? About how art and commerce and that very human urge to collect things and find connection, how does all that stuff intersect today? Something to think about. Okay, that's it for this deep dive. Next time, we're tackling Sunny Angels Exposed, the toy no one saw